Welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Bay Area Case Studies Virtual College Fair Explorer session. Welcome, everyone. Before we get started tonight, I have a couple of housekeeping items for you all. One, this is a webinar, so your camera and your microphone are off, so our panelists cannot see or hear you. Two, there are 2 more hours worth of virtual college fair after this. So I hope that you sign up for more sessions because this is a really fun way to learn about multiple schools in a short amount of time. This is being recorded and will be available within 1 week at strivescan.com/BACS. And we know that you're going to have some questions, and our panelists want to make sure that you get your questions answered. So at any point, put your question in the Q&A at the bottom of your screen, type out your question, and then also note the college or institution that you're directing your question to so that our panelists can answer that appropriately. This is called a 6x6 format, which means every college only has 6 short minutes to share great information about their institution, but we hope it's just enough for you to get a flavor for their institutions. We have a variety of different schools that we'll be presenting to you today that vary in size, location, and other characteristics. And we hope this session broadens your horizons during your college search. So now I'd like to turn it over to our panelists. First up, you're going to have the opportunity to hear from Amherst College. Take it away whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Courtney. Hi, guys. I'm very excited to be with you today. Bear with me as I just pull up my screen share. My name is Lexi Hurd. I use she, her pronouns. I'm one of the Associate Deans of Admission here at Amherst College. I've been at Amherst for 10 years. I'm also an alum, but I'm not going to talk about my time there because that was a while back. So I'm very excited to be with you tonight. A little bit about where we're located. So Amherst College is named after the town of Amherst. So in Amherst, Massachusetts, that's where we are. Massachusetts is a small state, but it does have more to it than just the city of Boston, and we're located out in the western part of the state. So about 3 hours north of New York City and about 2.5 hours west of Boston. We have a beautiful small town vibe. I've got a nice little picture of the campus behind me here, but it really does have all of the amenities that you might need. Certainly not an urban center, certainly not things that are going on 24/7. But our campus is right adjacent to the town of this little downtown area of Amherst itself. So right a few steps from campus, there are restaurants, bars, a bunch of coffee shops. They tend to be a lot of small businesses. There's also a CVS right in town, so just 2 blocks from campus. That's a nice place to be able to pop down to pick up some toothpaste or deodorant or some snacks or something like that to bring back to your dorm. The town next to us, Hadley, Massachusetts, has a lot more of your sort of major shopping center-like places. So Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, Panera, Chipotle, Starbucks, Target, Walmart, Aldi's, all of those kinds of places. And we're all connected by a public transportation system, sort of a city bus system, which is kind of a rare thing that you wouldn't think to see out in Western Massachusetts. And that's free for students. It's called the PVTA. And that's because we're part of the 5 College Consortium, which is something that I'll talk about in just a little bit. In terms of who we are academically at Amherst, we are a small, international, highly selective, residential liberal arts campus. That's a big mouthful all in one. We have about 1,850 students, so that's what we classify and where we fall into the small category there. And we're an undergraduate institution only. So it does mean that all of the resources, all of the staff members, all of the faculty, all of the research opportunities, all of the internships, everything that's going on our campus is done with undergraduate students in mind. All of our faculty members also teach on campus, so we don't have any graduate student TAs teaching any of our classes. And we really do value that sort of small community aspect. So our student to faculty ratio is 7:1. About 70% of our classes have fewer than 20 students in them. And so it's the kind of place where if you're really looking for an immersive, academic, rigorous environment, that's something that you can definitely find. In terms of the liberal arts and sciences, we're also pretty, I think, pure. And when you see our course offerings, we have 40 different academic majors on our campus, and they range from the humanities, the social sciences, the natural sciences, mathematics, and foreign language. You will not find majors on our campus that are specifically related to pre-professional programs. And so that's where the liberal arts piece comes in, is that we're thinking about sort of broad-based thinking. So a lot of theory, a lot of big complex questions. We do a lot of thinking about the intersections and interdisciplinary nature of a lot of the biggest questions that are out there. And our faculty do that as well. So there's a lot of cross collaboration across the different fields of being at a small institution, and that can be a huge benefit as well. So lots of research across the curriculum. So don't discount small liberal arts institutions when you think about research. That's true in the humanities, the social sciences, and of course in the natural sciences, where it's kind of easy to envision what that might look like in terms of labs and things like that. We believe in education as a process, as something that is living and evolving and always changing, and something that can really only be done in concert with others. So the reason that we have really small class size, and that's sort of a strong pedagogy of ours, is because we understand that learning should happen together, that there's not one defined way of looking at issues. And really, to solve the world's most complex and biggest problems, we need to have a lot of different perspectives and representation, lived experiences, identities, all of those kinds of things. So we do really think intentionally about bringing the students to our campus. We also understand that a lot of our learning happens not just in the classroom. So 98% of our students live on campus for all 4 years. And so that sort of residential community aspect where students are involved, and it's kind of got that 24/7 immersion kind of activity. That's the kind of place that the small liberal arts colleges are like. So a few statistics there. I'll also point out that about 80% of our students go to graduate school within 5 years of graduating from Amherst. And at that juncture, many folks are choosing professional schools. In my last couple minutes here, I want to talk about 2 things about Amherst College that distinguish us from some of the other small liberal arts colleges. One is our open curriculum. So we do not have general education requirements, nor do we have any courses that students are going to be required to take in their time. It's the ultimate flexibility, the ultimate responsibility. You will be choosing your courses along with an advisor. This is one of those programs that really most Amherst students think about and name as something that was really influential either in their college search process and in their time at Amherst. So you can really design the academics throughout the full course catalog that we have to fit what it is that you're searching for at that time. The other aspect is that we're part of this 5-college consortium, which I talked about a little bit earlier. We're very lucky that there's 4 institutions right in our backyard. There are about 30,000 undergraduate students right here, and you can take classes at Amherst free of charge at these other institutions, as well as participate in any of the social opportunities as well. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to our next presentation.
Thank you so much, Lexi, to you and Amherst College. So I got so excited about these presentations that I forgot to show you this slide. So this is the whole list of institutions that you're going to hear from. So next up, I would like to introduce Tulane University. Take it away whenever you're ready.
Hello, hello. Before I get started, my good friend, they went to Lick Wilmering High School in the Bay Area. So they just wanted me to shout that out. So now that I got that out of the way, I can get into this. My name's Aiden Cadley. I am an admissions counselor at Tulane University. Give me 1 second to get this in the presentation mode. Here we go. Nope, that's our office Slack. All right, cool. There we go. Great. So, like I said, I'm Aiden Cadley. I'm an admissions counselor here at Tulane. I attended Tulane. I graduated from Tulane back in 2017. And Tulane is a medium-sized liberal arts university in New Orleans, Louisiana. So it's still pretty far from the Bay Area, but we're a school that's one of the most geographically diverse schools in the entire. We're around in the top 3 of all schools where the average student's more than 900 miles from home. So you guys would actually be in the majority of students if you chose to attend Tulane, because California is actually our 2nd most popular state behind New York, my home state. Tulane is a university that's got great academics. We've got what I believe to be the perfect academic flexibility for both students who know what they want to do and both students who have no clue what they want to do. That is because if you're admitted to Tulane, you're accepted into all 5 of our schools. So you're accepted to our School of Liberal Arts, our School of Business, our School of Science and Engineering, our School of Architecture, and our School of Public Health. For those of you who may not know, public health is a study of disease and how they spread. I'd be shocked if you don't know what that is at this point, because we've just lived through a pandemic. And it's really great because regardless of your experience, regardless of your outcomes, you can study whatever you like. For example, when I was a student at Tulane only a few years ago, I originally came to Tulane Theater and Pre-Med, Turns out I was tone deaf, was able to switch from theater to psychology, and all it took was signing a piece of paper. And that's what you can do. You can add or change your majors many times as you'd like. There'd be no questions asked. Like I said, we're a medium-sized university. We're around 7,000 undergraduate students. So our incoming class will be around 1,800 students. That was smaller than my high school, actually, my high school class. So when I got to college, it felt like I was actually coming to a place where they were going to know me better. And that's because our student to faculty ratio is 8:1. And your average class size is 18 to 22 students. So these professors will know who you are. There'll be great resources for recommendations down the line if you want to do research or you just want to get to know them. We are tier 1 research universities. So this basically means we're doing research at a level you really only see it from top tier universities. There are only a select group of around 20 to 30 schools that are considered tier 1 research universities in the country. We have research going on not just in the sciences, not just in the business. One of my majors was also English at Tulane. And I did research in English. So I always like to say, if I was able to do research in a language that everyone already speaks and knows, then the bar for you to do research in a subject at Tulane, it could go. And that's really nice because you get this hands-on experience where if you want to go to a graduate program, if you want to do, if you want to really just explore this interest more, you can do that. We're not closed off with research, just honors students. In fact, any student can do research at Tulane by just getting faculty advising, and you can also apply for funding. 85% of students that do research at Tulane get funding to do so. We also have a really unique student experience. We have over 250 different clubs. We have Greek life, but it's not the traditional Southern Greek life you'd think about. Only around 40% of students do Greek life. We have over 110 different study abroad programs in 40 countries. The only continent we don't do study abroad in is Antarctica. So if any of my peers offer a program there, I think they'd be a better fit for you. But if Antarctica is not a huge factor, we might be a good fit for you as well. We also have Division I athletics. Our sports at Tulane are constantly getting better and better. The football team when I was a student won a total of 5 games in my 4 years. And last year alone, we won 7. So I'm very jealous of how the team's doing right now. We also have club and intramural sports as well, which are a great way to get involved, stay active, and get to travel the entire Southeast to go play sports. Huge factor about Tulane, though, is we were the first university to require public service as a graduation requirement. This is because, New Orleans, after Hurricane Katrina hit, we knew the city had to rebuild and both Tulane had to rebuild. So we decided to dedicate all our future resources to helping the city of New Orleans because that's your home when you're at Tulane. We do almost 1 million hours of service as a university every year. This year we had different service from voter registration fest to going to, different cities to go help with cleanup from hurricanes to even, just doing COVID vaccination sites where me and a few other students the other day were volunteering downtown, helping to get the elderly population here in New Orleans get vaccinated. So there's service in whatever way you want it. And the service opportunities we have actually can count as internships. So if you've heard of other universities with a co-op program, we have a similar feel to that, except instead of making you take an entire year off from school to go do an internship, you can do that internship while still graduating in 4 years, which for me sounded much better when I was looking at colleges because I paid my way through school myself and did not want to have that 5th year of billing. And the last factor, the factor where I was your age, why I chose Tulane was the city of New Orleans. If any of you have ever been to New Orleans, you'll know what I'm saying when I say this is the best city in the world. Great history, great culture, amazing food. There's more festivals in New Orleans than days in the year. In the 220 days you'd be a Tulane student for a school year, there'd be 310 festivals. So I like to say if a Tulane student ever tells me they're bored, I will print out a list for them of things they can do that weekend because that's just the place we are. We've got the Saints, we've got Tulane, we've got a bunch of other colleges here. So it really feels like not only a great city, but a great college town as well. And I think one of the best parts is Tulane is not just a city campus with a bunch of buildings everywhere. It is a legit campus with green grass, on-campus buildings, really great living environment. So you get the best of both worlds. You get a college town feel and also a big city feel, which I think is very hard to beat. And here's some little statistics we like to say we're proud of. We're not a university that really looks too much at statistics. We like it when they're nice to us, but at the end of the day, we feel like those can be a little overrated at times, but we're the 3rd happiest students. We're the #1 most engaged community service. We're a top 40 university in the country, and we're a #3 college city. I think that's ridiculous. We should be the #1, but I didn't vote in that. So that's on. But yeah, y'all, it was really nice chatting with you. If you have any questions, put in the chat, but thanks again.
Thank you so much, Tulane University. Audience, don't forget, you can put those questions in the chat at in the Q&A feature at any point. Don't forget to note the college or university that you're directing your question to. And Aboutucher College is up next. Chris, take it away whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Courtney. Hi, everyone. My name is Christopher Wild. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm Associate Director of Admissions at Aboutucher. And thank you for joining us this evening. So Aboutucher is located just north of Baltimore in the suburb of Towson. Towson is home to 2 colleges, including Aboutucher, a number of major retailers, restaurants, and social venues, all within a short walk or a quick shared ride from campus. Our central location provides access to a number of major cities. We're just 12 miles from Baltimore's Inner Harbor and downtown area, an hour to DC, 90 minutes to Philly, 2.5 hours on the train to New York City, and only about 30 minutes from Baltimore Washington International Airport, making us an easily accessible college to get to for students from outside of the region. We were founded in 1885 by John Aboutucher and his wife, Mary Fisher, as the Women's College of Baltimore, and we were originally located in downtown. In honor of Dr. Aboutucher's legacy of providing education to marginalized populations, the college renamed in his honor in 1910. His early commitment to social justice, global education, and innovation remain pillars of Aboutucher education today. The campus moved to the suburb of Towson in the 1940s due to the need for more space, and in 1986 went co-ed. In 2006, we instituted the requirement that all students study abroad. I'll talk about that more in a minute. We are a private 4-year residential liberal arts college dedicated to preparing students for the jobs of the future, those jobs that don't even exist yet. Our liberal arts education includes the sciences, as well as a focus on critical thinking, problem solving, collaboration, and communication, the very skills that are being sought by today's employers. We sit on 287 wooded acres and enroll about 1,100 undergraduate students and 700 grad students, and our students come from all across the country and around the world. We are a relaxed and friendly community where students are quick to say hello and professors know who you are both in and outside of the classroom. Our average class size is 17 and we have an amazing 10-to-1 student to faculty ratio. As I mentioned earlier, one of Aboutucher's pillars has always been innovation. This is demonstrated both in our classroom and beyond. Instead of a laundry list of general education requirements, our curriculum asks students to take a series of seminar, interdisciplinary, and proficiency-based courses that are adapted to their area of interests. Our complex problem exploration courses ask students to tackle real-world current issues from an interdisciplinary perspective. For instance, the course Nations, Borders, and Immigration asks students to study immigration through the lenses of history, political science, international relations, sociology, and economics. Our institutional commitments to 2 areas of justice, justice amongst people through race, power, and perspective, and justice amongst the natural world through environmental sustainability, are encountered not in a single course, but throughout the entirety of a student's experience. We offer a variety of majors and minors that reflect the liberal arts and new ways of learning, thinking, and doing. In addition to adding 8 new majors this year, which include education studies, engineering, science, and professional and creative writing, we now offer a 4+1 BA MS program with Johns Hopkins Carey School of Business and a 4+1 BA MBA program with Loyola University in Maryland. A unique option, the individualized interdisciplinary major, allows students to create their own major by pulling courses from 3 or 4 existing programs and working with a faculty advisor. Another one of our core pillars is a commitment to global education. Since 2006, Aboutucher has had a 100% commitment to incorporating a global perspective throughout a student's academic experience, which means 100% of our students study abroad. And I can't stress enough how different that makes us as an institution. Our study abroad options include semester-long experiences, intensive courses abroad, which are 3-week programs that are led by the faculty at Aboutucher. And typically these students will take place in a student's junior year once they've declared their major or minor. Community means many things to us. As a residential college, more than 80% of our students live on campus all 4 years. First-year students live in a first-year student village, which is a living and learning complex designed to foster community and collaboration, and features a demonstration kitchen, a performance studio, a fire pit, and lots of hammocks, and all of the rooms there are doubles. Mary Fisher Dining Center is essentially located on campus, and our food service company uses about 30 different local farmers to supply us with fresh produce, antibiotic and hormone-free meats. And the dining hall is set up with food stations that can accommodate a variety of dietary needs, including vegan, kosher, halal, allergen, and gluten-free. Aboutucher is a diverse community that reflects today's world. Students are attracted to Aboutucher because they can be their authentic selves. Successful students are intellectually curious, are passionate about social justice, and have an eagerness to experience the world. Outside of the classroom, our students participate in more than 60 different clubs and organizations, participate in Division III athletics that include 10 women's sports and 8 men's sports, as well as a nationally ranked equestrian team, esports, and intramural and club sports. We offer an individualized and holistic admissions process that is test optional and free of an application fee. We think it's ridiculous that colleges charge $50, $60, $80, $100 just to apply to the college. And additionally, all of our students are automatically considered for merit scholarships during the review process. So there's no extra hoops to jump through. And students can apply to Aboutucher using the Common App, which helps streamline the process. Students can submit their application for early action or regular decision consideration, and both of those are non-binding and offer rolling notification of admissions decision. Following regular decision, we move to rolling admission, where you can submit an application on a space available basis. We are incredibly proud of the experience that we offer here at Goucher. We've been lucky to be recognized by a number of organizations for the work that we do. I just want to thank you for taking your time to learn more about Goucher tonight. Please visit our website to learn more information about us, schedule a longer version of this presentation virtually, and I hope to hear from you real soon. And with that, I will turn it back over to Courtney for our next presenter.
Thanks so much, Chris, to you and Aboutucher College. Audience, I told you this was going to be fun. We've heard from 3 great institutions, but we still have 3 great ones to go. Next up, you're going to have the opportunity to hear from Miami University. Larissa, take it away whenever you're ready.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. My name is Larissa Marple with Miami University, located in Oxford, Ohio. We have nothing to do with the University of Miami in Florida, which is often sometimes what our name is associated with, but fun fact, Miami University in Ohio was actually founded before the state of Florida even existed in the United States. We're the 10th oldest public institution in the nation, and we were named after the Native American tribe that used to inhabit this area of Ohio. Some quick facts about our institution. We have about 17,000 undergraduate students, but an average class size of about 30. So we like to say that we have the brains of a big university, the resources of a big university, but really the heart of a small school. Walking across campus, students aren't necessarily going to know every single student or faculty member that they pass, but they will know the names of every student in their classes, and faculty members will know them by name as well. We have over 120 areas of study, 18 Division I varsity sports teams, and over 600 student organizations. We are an incredibly involved student body. Students at Miami are typically involved in 2 or more student activities or sports. We also have club sports teams, over 50 competitive club sports teams for students looking to compete, but not quite at that Division I level. Additionally, you can see here that close to 63% of our students graduate with a minor or a second major. Even though we're a public institution, we are liberal arts based. So students are going to take classes in all different areas of study. It's kind of a choose your own adventure to get those requirements in. But if you want to do something that's in business and writing that may or may not seem like they are related, you can absolutely do that and still graduate in 4 years. Additionally, we have over 30 combined degree programs where you receive your bachelor's and your master's at the same time, either in 4 or 5 years, depending on the program. You don't apply for those until you're at Miami University, but with some of our honors programs, you get automatic admissions if you are accepted as a freshman and into those honors programs. Additionally, because we are undergraduate focused, over 2,000 students each year work on funded research with faculty members. So if that's something you're interested in, you don't necessarily need to wait until graduate school to do that at Miami. And we are ranked top 5 in the country for undergraduate teaching amongst public institutions. What that means is that our professors are pretty awesome. They are very hands-on. They teach all of their classes, and over 80% of our professors are tenured full-time, but teaching is their focus as opposed to research. So they're there to support you primarily as a part of their role at the institution. This is a picture of our campus, and the poet Robert Frost visited a long time ago and said that it's the most beautiful campus that ever there was. And of course, we're biased, but we definitely agree. It is a gorgeous place to spend 4 years of your life. We have the kind of idyllic red brick buildings, the big green quads. We do get all 4 seasons in the state of Ohio. So you do get a true summer, which is when this was taken. The spring is also pretty green and beautiful, but you get a gorgeous fall with the different colored leaves. And then winter is chilly, but the snow is beautiful, and the campus and city are well equipped so that it is not a nuisance to your life. I tell everyone I'm from Texas. I think if I can survive the snow in Ohio, pretty much anyone can. The town of Oxford itself is also consistently ranked one of the best college towns in America. Really everything in the town is centered around the university. It's a great place to live. Everything is walking distance. The roads are red brick. It's beautiful. And a lot of local shops and restaurants and bars are located in Uptown, which is where this picture is taken, that's just adjacent to campus. We are divided into 6 different academic divisions. When you apply to Miami University, for the first 4 colleges listed, if you're accepted to Miami, you're automatically accepted into the program of your choice. For our business school in nursing, not every student is admitted necessarily, but it is possible to be admitted to the school and just not directly into that program. Our nursing program is direct entry only, and students begin clinicals as early as their sophomore year. And then, like I said, over 120 areas of study. There's a lot to explore. And so I love to highlight, of course, business and nursing because they're more competitive programs. I get a lot of questions about those, but our College of Creative Arts has our highest success rate after graduation, with 99% of our students employed or furthering their graduation. And we're ranked top 8 in the country for engineering amongst public institutions as well. So lots and lots of great options to choose from. These are our deadlines. We have early decision and early action, which are the same date but differ slightly. Early decision is going to be that binding application, whereas early action is not. And then regular decision is our later application. We highly recommend applying by December 1st because you're more likely to receive a higher amount of merit scholarship if you apply by that priority deadline. This is our accepted student profile. Just to give you a glance, we are test optional for fall 2022, and we really mean test optional. Honors programs, merit scholarship, etc., will be test optional, so don't feel like you have to submit your test scores if you're unable to or uncomfortable going to take the test or don't get those scores that you are hoping for. But you can see here where you might fall. The thing I like to highlight on this page is that only about 43% of our students are actually from the state of Ohio. So yes, we are a public institution, but a majority of our students are coming internationally or out of state. So you definitely won't be the only one from your area. Additionally, we have a tuition promise. It just means that all 4 years it's going to cost the same. So when you're planning those finances for college, the rate you pay your first year as a freshman is the same rate you pay your senior year before you graduate. And then lastly, this page just shows some of our statistics, and long story short, if you come to Miami University, we'll make sure that you're going to be successful no matter where you go. 96% of our students are employed or furthering their education within 6 months of graduating. We have well above average acceptance rates for medical school and law school, which we love to share as well. So that is all I have for you today. I will share my contact information in the chat and pass it back to Courtney.
Thank you so much, Miami University. Next up, I have the pleasure of introducing St. John's University. Take it away, Anthony, whenever you're ready.
All right, just 1 second. I'll share my screen. All right. So good evening, everybody, all the way from New York City. So my name is Anthony, representing St. John's University today. And the first slide you see here is actually our beautiful Queens campus. So we have a couple of campuses, but if you happen to ever visit Queens, this is the main area you will see. And this little area over here with the flags is where my admissions office is. But to segue into the different campuses that we have within New York City, so I just mentioned Queens, which is our largest location. We also have a campus in the borough of Staten Island, and then we have a smaller campus in the borough of Manhattan. So for Manhattan in particularly, it's a risk management actuary science school. If you are a business student, you do have the option to study in Manhattan, Queens, or Staten Island. But that is the only major that can study in all 3 campuses, just a little FYI. The campuses that you see in blue, Rome, Paris, and Limerick, Ireland, are our locations that we have overseas. So we have a couple of different places to study. St. John's, by the numbers, we have just over 17,000 students with a 17-to-1 student to faculty ratio. Our students come from 47 different states, as well as 123 different countries. We have over 180 different organizations on campus. We have over 100 plus majors, and we're a Division I sports school with 17 Division I teams. Here's just a breakdown of the different colleges that we have within our university umbrella. So we have our College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences, our College of Professional Studies, Liberal Arts and Sciences, our School of Education, and last but not least, our Tobin College of Business. For the honors program at St. John's, when you apply as a freshman, when you're coming in, there's no separate application. You're automatically considered for the honors program if you meet the criteria for the incoming year. So you actually will just receive an invitation that will say, hey, I would like to be a part of the program, or nay, I would not like to be part of the program. So it'll make you pretty straightforward and easy. For double majors and minors and multiple dual degree options, we do have a whole list of different options available to you. However, you can't apply as incoming freshmen, but if you ever have questions when you go through the application process about what your next steps would be to get into those programs, we're definitely here to help out and answer you. So as I just mentioned before, we are a Division I sports school. We are in the Big East Conference. This is just a quick list of the different teams that we have, which are basketball, cross country, fencing, golf, soccer, softball, tennis, track and field, and volleyball. If you're a student that isn't going to play Division I, but you do want to play in college, we do have a club and intramural sports available to you as well. I should mention, everything is free to attend on campus. The only games that you pay for when we are actively going to games would be in Madison Square Garden for our men's basketball games, but everything is free to attend on campus, which is pretty cool. So studying abroad, 44% of our 17,000 students actually take advantage of our study abroad programs. Here's just a staple list of what programs that we have. So Global Passport program is actually a freshman year program. So you spend 7 days in Rome, or 7 days in Paris in your first semester in fall or your spring semester, depending on which one you would like to choose. For Western Europe semester, that's our most popular program, typically sophomore or junior year, where you'll spend 5 weeks in Rome, 5 weeks in Paris, 5 weeks in Ireland, and you take 2 courses in each country. So how that works is, if you fly to Paris, you'll take 2 courses. Once you finish those 5 weeks, those 2 courses are completely done. You fly out to a new country and you start 2 new classes. And the best part about this is the class schedule runs Monday through Thursday for our abroad programs. So you have a 3-day weekend for 15 weeks, which is pretty cool. And then our study abroad Latin America program, we have Costa Rica and Colombia available to you as well. Now, keep in mind, this is just where we have most of our programs, but we can essentially send you anywhere in the world. So if there's somewhere you want to go, we could definitely work that out. So internship opportunities. Here at St. John's, we have a 94% employment rate after graduation, and a lot of that has to do with the internship opportunities. Being in New York City definitely helps out. We're right at the heart of many of the corporations. You can see the diversity in terms of companies where students have interned at. So we have sports represented from the Islanders to MLB. We have tech represented with Facebook. We have the media represented with MTV, NBC, ABC. You have healthcare represented with Norfolk Health. So there's a lot of different areas that students can get internships in. And most of our majors actually require it, which I think is pretty good. Now, the application piece. So we are on the Common App, and we do have our own application as well. Both of them are free, which is good to know. We are test optional. If you do plan to submit test scores, the average SAT is a 1220 and the average ACT is a 25. We do super score. So what does that mean? If you take each test multiple times, whatever the highest average is, we'll create that average for you and make that your score. In terms of documents to submit, 2 as a rec, essay, and resume, which are all considered optional, but I always tell every student, if you have them on file, definitely submit them because it makes your application a little bit stronger. For application deadlines, we have early decision, November 15th, early action, December 1st. After December 1st, we go into a rolling admissions period. The only 2 programs with a hard deadline will be pharmacy and biooptometry, which have a deadline of February 1st. But if you're not applying for any of those, then there's no hard deadline. Merit scholarships, automatically a part of the process, so there's no separate application. All the ones that have a date here on this list are the ones that have a separate application. So if you ever have questions about applying for extra scholarships, if you do decide to apply to St. John's, definitely reach out to me and I'll give you more information. Tuition for Queens, $43,000, Staten Island, $30,000. Now keep in mind, sounds like a big difference, but we do reflect the difference in our scholarships, so it is a little confusing, but essentially the cost of attendance will be the same for both campuses, just to note. And then lastly here, we have our visit page, so just stjohns.edu/visit and my contact information, but I'll also put it in chat once I hand it over, but that's the end of my piece.
Anthony, thanks so much to you and St. John's University. Our final presentation tonight will be from Bryn Mawr College. Take it away whenever you're ready.
Hi everyone, my name is Kayla Himdani. I'm an admissions officer with Bryn Mawr College. Bryn Mawr College is a selective liberal arts college for women of around 1,300 students located in Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania. You may be wondering, where's Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania? But we're just a short train ride away from an amazing large city, Philadelphia. So your opportunities academically and socially really are limitless. So we like to say Bryn Mawr is a place where women claim an education. Often when we ask our students to reflect on their Bryn Mawr experience, many of them say that when they were sitting where you are, they weren't interested in Bryn Mawr because it's a women's college. Maybe they liked the rigorous academics or our community, but after being here and experiencing this empowering environment, they say they would choose Bryn Mawr all over again because it is a women's college. So I'll talk a little bit about our academics. So students are encouraged to explore their interests and passions, and our core curriculum takes an innovative approach to engaging students in a variety of ways. So we don't have traditional requirements like Math 101. Instead, we have our approaches to inquiry, which help students develop vital and transferable skills that prepare them to live in a global and diverse community. Students often find a major, a minor, or even a career interest through taking a course to meet a requirement. Our students are really excited by the challenging, engaging coursework and research, strong bonds with faculty, staff, and alumni, innovative programs that connect study with action, and top-tier partnerships that expand options we have here. Our most popular majors are mathematics, psychology, English, biology, and computer science. So now I'll talk about some opportunities outside of our campus. Student learning and engagement goes beyond Bryn Mawr's campus. We're part of an active consortium with Haverford College, Swarthmore College, and the University of Pennsylvania. And these all expand students' opportunities academically, professionally, and socially. 77% of students complete at least one internship in Philadelphia or beyond. We're neighbors to some amazing cities such as New York, DC, for example. So those are just a few of the places where students decide to take advantage of opportunities in regards to internships. Our Career and Civic Engagement Center has $750,000 available in summer funding for students. And we have 20 combined degree programs, most of which allow students to earn their undergraduate and graduate degrees in a shorter amount of time. We also offer more than 90 pre-approved study abroad programs in addition to summer abroad and our very popular 360 experience. So we like to say our students are leaders because at women's colleges, women's leadership is not the exception, it is the norm. Every position of power and opportunity is available to women, from our self-government association, which is the oldest in the country, to research opportunities and internships. So our students really are actively engaged in problem solving and affecting change. So now I'll highlight three main components of Bryn Mawr, one being the Thrive First Year course, which is a mandatory course for all first year students to partake in, just to help get you acclimated to the college experience. We also recognize the experience of first generation students may look a little bit different. So therefore there are Thrive specific for first generation students as well. We also offer a variety of other resources for our first generation low income students, including a mentorship program, directory of other FIGLY staff and faculty and alumni, as well as emergency funding and counseling center support. During a typical time on campus, we have something called the Community Day of Learning. And that's a day where all faculty, staff, and students just stop what they're doing and for that entire day, engage in some diversity, equity, inclusion efforts. However, during the pandemic, this has been spread across the entire academic year in the form of different teach-ins that have been happening. Finally, I encourage you to take a picture of this slide with more information for admissions. We have two early decision deadlines of November 15th and January 1st, and then a regular decision deadline of January 15th. We receive the common application as well as the coalition application, and Bryn Mawr has been and will continue to be test optional for US citizens and permanent residents. For financial aid, we receive the FAFSA and the CSS profile, and through those two applications, we meet 100% of demonstrated need, and that need is met through work study, grants, merit aid, as well as loans. I strongly encourage you to follow us on social media for that insider glimpse of what it is like to be a Bryn Mawr student, and do not hesitate to reach out to me if you have any questions about the admissions process or any questions surrounding Bryn Mawr College. And again, I remind you, maybe take a picture of the slide, and thank you all for listening.
Thank you so much, Kayla, to you and Bryn Mawr College. Now, I'd like to invite all of our panelists to turn back on their cameras and share a little bit more about their institutions. So what is your favorite event or tradition on campus? Or if you'd prefer, feel free to give a fun fact or interesting fact. We'll go in the same order that you presented originally. So Amherst up first.
What an awesome question. I'm going to combine the two, actually. And a fun fact is that Amherst actually adopted a new mascot a few years ago. We are the Mammoths now. So tusks up is what folks say. And that was a really interesting process on campus. And I tie that into the event because we have these wonderful seasonal events. We have a fall fest, a winter fest, something else called City Streets, where the entire community gets together. We got a lot of mammoth things we give away, some mammoth cookies, a big picture you can take with the mammoth. Part of the reason that we chose the mammoth is because mammoths travel in herds. And so it's all collaborative and together. And we have a gigantic mammoth skeleton in our Natural History Museum. So that's my fun fact.
For me, this was the reason I chose Tulane when I was y'all's age. Mardi Gras. So basically everything you've seen on TV, it's like that, except you're a student getting a great education and you get an entire week off of class. So I'm a really petty New Yorker. So when all my friends were taking their midterms, I was out catching beads at parades, and let me tell you, that was like the best time of my life, just sending them Snapchats while they're studying for midterms, and I'm out until late at night. So yeah, that's my favorite thing about Tulane, Mardi Gras.
Let's take a page from Lexi and combine the two. One of my favorite Goucher traditions and kind of a fun fact is our campus and our students were the originators or the creators of the games or the game Humans versus Zombies. And so it's one of my all-time favorite pastimes at Goucher. It's a week in the fall, a week in the spring, and essentially this giant game of tag where everyone that wants to play signs up. One person at random is chosen to be the original zombie. They have to go around tagging humans, converting them into zombies. Each side has different missions to fulfill throughout the week. Humans get to be equipped with Nerf guns so they can shoot a zombie with a Nerf gun, throw a sock at them and stun them for a few moments, allowing them to make their escape. The manager of the Target in town says that they sell more Nerf guns than any Target in the state of Maryland. So very popular pastime at Goucher. Do it a week in the fall, a week in spring, but it was also created by Goucher students, which makes it even more special.
One of my favorite traditions at Miami is every 4 years we have an event called Charter Day Ball. And it is a celebration of current students, alumni, faculty. It is a huge weekend-long event that all kind of culminates around this one ball, a grand ball. Everyone dresses up. There's a band, there's dinner, there's all sorts of events. And while you're a student, because it's every 4 years, there's only one time that you get to go. So when it happens, it's a huge deal. And we have hundreds and hundreds of alumni that come back to campus for it. And so it's just a really great way for students to make connections. The academic areas will really try to utilize the alumni that are in town to do alumni panels and try to make connections with students there. So it's just a really fun time of excitement. And I think our next one is supposed to be this fall. So we are all very, very hopeful that it will be able to happen in person.
I guess I'll go with the fun fact. So I kind of cheat, do like 2.5. But so St. John's is actually located in the highest point in Queens, and the reason why I like to mention that is because you can actually see the entire skyline for our campus, which I really love. And the second fact, which is going to turn into a fact and a half, is that we're actually one of the most filmed venues in the New York area, and we were in Coming to America, the original one, reference, and the new one, which I think is pretty cool. So those are the little fun facts there.
And I'll also combine fun fact / an event on campus. So every 4 years, we have a Hogwarts themed dinner. People like to say our campus kind of looks like Hogwarts, and we have this really large space called Great Hall. And during this Hogwarts themed dinner, the faculty and staff dress up as different characters of Harry Potter, and the students partake in some cool festive dinner opportunities that are similar to what happened in the Harry Potter books.
I absolutely love hearing all of these fun traditions and fun facts. And audience, I think you can get excited about where you'll find your next home and enjoy a lot of these fun traditions and events yourself. I also hope that you'll take a look at these awesome professionals on the screen and know that there are people like them at all the colleges and institutions that you're really seriously considering. And don't hesitate to reach out to them with more information. They are really here for you. Thanks so much for joining us. This was the Explore session. So you now have the opportunity to pick 2 more hours worth of this really cool opportunity to hear from multiple schools in a 45-minute segment. So please sign up for more sessions. There is going to be a quick 4-question survey as you exit this session, and the recording of this session, along with all the other sessions that happened tonight, will be available at strivescan.com/BACS within 1 week. Have a good one, everyone, and best of luck with your college search process. Bye-bye.